everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, who's another one of my gay gamer video podcasts. This week I went to the movies and I saw Trolls Band Together. Mostly because it was in 3D, and then also because I had seen the second one and rather surprisingly enjoyed it. I had thought it was one of the last movies that I saw before COVID, but it turns out when I looked up the movie's release, it actually came out in April, so it was like during lockdown. It was, so it was one of those movies that was released to theaters that no one would go to because of COVID, and then also at home. So I clearly watched it on Peacock because I'd seen the trailers and probably thought it looked cute and whatever, and I thought, well, what the hell? It's right here. I might as well just push play and see if it's any good. And I thought that Trolls World Tour was fun and surprisingly clever, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So I thought I would go see the new one. And it's good. It's fine. I feel like it wasn't as clever as I remember the second one being. But it's still amusing. And the songs are good. It's lots of fun songs. And I just wish that it had been a little more cutting with some of the boy band jokes, it makes jokes, but they're very obvious and whatever, and it would have been fun if it had been a little bit more snarky. Also, I was disappointed in the 3D, and I don't know if it's because they didn't really use the 3D very well, which I feel like there were only a few scenes where it was good for 3D, movement and depth and whatever. But it also might have been because I was sitting in the aisle for some reason, which makes no sense to me because I never get aisle seats. I should have been in seat 5, not seat 10. But when I got there, I was like, hey, someone's sitting in the center. Isn't that where I am? And I looked at my phone and it was nope, C10. And I'm like, I would never buy a seat in the aisle. And I know that when I bought the tickets, the whole theater was open and free because I bought them earlier and no one had bought tickets yet. And I remember picking a center seat, but everything says C10, and I'm like, the hell? I'm not going insane. I would never have picked an aisle seat ever in my life. So I can only imagine that they had it in a different theater and then moved it to a different theater and then had to move my seat or something. I don't know, but it's happened before where I found myself sitting not quite where I thought I was going to be sitting because they moved it to a smaller theater or a bigger theater or something. It's happened a couple of times. But yeah, I was like, eh. So the 3D is not really worth it. And I would just say, wait for it to be on Peacock if you want to see the new Trolls movie. It's fun. It's cute. What are you gonna do? As for games, I know that a lot of people right now are playing the Super Mario RPG remake. I am not one of them. I do want to play it. But not yet, because I am still trying to finish Spider-Man. And I do feel like I am getting closer to the end of Spider-Man, because it's getting more difficult. There was another Mary Jane stealth mission, which annoyed me. But it was, again, this one was a little more difficult, but it was still doable. But then I had a boss fight with Peter that was, actually, no, first the boss fight with Peter, then the Mary Jane stealth mission, I think. Yeah, that's right. There was a boss fight with Peter that I died a couple of times because it was getting a little difficult. Then there was the Mary Jane stealth mission. Then there was a boss fight with Miles where I died a lot. To the point where I finally had to go old school and be like, okay, I need to learn his patterns and figure out what he's going to attack when, so I know exactly how to dodge it, because you have to dodge this way for that and that way for this, and it was a whole thing. There's a lot to keep track of. I would not be a good Spider-Man because I just can't keep track of all that stuff. I did eventually make it through it though. But that's why I feel like I'm getting close to the end, because it's getting more difficult. Hopefully I'll be able to actually finish it. I think I'm somewhere around 65 to 70% overall completion, which is good. And I think I'm around 35 hours into the game. I've put 35 hours into it, which is solid. So all those people who are like, oh, you can finish this game in 20 minutes, I'm not paying $60 for that game short, a game that's short. You know, I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Like, it's not that short. If you really want to play it and do everything, like, I'm gonna clearly break 40, 45 probably by the time I actually finish it. And I am also, I am playing more Spider-Man than I was last week. Because I'm trying to create a schedule where I play a little Animal Crossing, a little Disney Dreamlight Valley, and then Spider-Man. So I'm balancing 3 games a day, basically. And I'm trying to play all 3 every day, like, because I don't want to, like, the problem is that I would play my Animal Crossing and whatever, and then I would play some Disney Dreamlight Valley, and then I would find myself getting, like, wrapped up and being like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then I got to go over here and do this, and then I'm going to do that. And then the time would just melt away, and then I'm like, oh, now I don't have time to play Spider-Man at all today. So, like, I'm trying to, like, balance that a little more and just do a little bit of Dreamlight Valley at a time. Because as opposed to Animal Crossing, I have discovered, you know, there's the daily routine, but then there's so many characters and so many quests to do that it's, like, a lot. Although I was thrilled to finally be able to, I finally got Mirabelle from Encanto, because that was a very early quest where you find a doorknob and Merlin's like, oh, that belongs to Mini Casita. Just place Mini Casita anywhere in the village. Except Mini Casita is effing humongous. It is not mini at all. So I was having a really hard time finding a place to put it. And then eventually I opened up the Lion King area, the Sunlit Plateau, I think they call it. And that was nice and open, and I said, here, you can go here in this corner. And I finally placed it and got that quest off my list, thank goodness. But there's a lot of friendship quests I'm finding that are locked because they need certain things to happen before they can unlock. Thankfully, the game tells you what those are. And sometimes it's as simple as, you know, get your friendship level up to the next, you know, to 7 or 8 or whatever. And then, or like, there were a bunch of them where they were like, Wally needs to be in the village. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll invite Wally to the village, whatever. And then some of them need, like, certain areas unlocked, like the Sunlit Plateau and whatever. So, like, it's interesting because it's like, I don't want to unlock these things because I want to keep my list of quests manageable. But then at the same time, I sometimes can't do quests because I need that area unlocked or that character unlocked in order to get the items I need to finish the quest I want to finish. So it's all a little complicated. So that's how come I end up spending way too much time on it. But I am trying to balance them better. And then eventually I will have to balance it with Super Mario RPG. Although I am thinking that with Super Mario RPG, I'm going to do, I might actually get that Nintendo voucher thing that they have where you spend, like, it costs like $100 and you get a voucher that's good for 2 games. And it's like first party Nintendo games, you know. And so instead of getting them for $60, you get them for $50 because you buy the voucher and you are basically saying, I'm going to buy 2 Nintendo games at like $50 a pop. So I'm thinking I can get Super Mario RPG and then I can use the other voucher to get the Paper Mario remake when that comes out. I think that's like in February or something. I'm not sure, February or March. It's sometime next year. It's not like right now. Right now it's Super Mario RPG. So I'm thinking I might do that, but I don't know. I'm also tempted, I have to say before I go, I just want to say I am also slightly tempted by the new Atari 2600 Plus that has come out. Because I just love the idea of an Atari console that hooks into modern televisions and I can play old Atari games. And it plays old cartridges, which is great. Because the thing is that they have those, like, you know, the little mini Ataris that, like, have like 50 games included and you hook them up to your TV and you can play those. But I sort of like the idea of like an actual Atari where you can play, it plays Atari 2600 and 7800 games. Maybe it's 5200, I don't remember exactly. But it plays like a variety of games and you can put original cartridges into the system and play them on your new TVs. And I think that's really cool. They're also selling cartridges, but they're charging like $30 I saw. So I'm like, well, no, because you can just go to a secondhand store and get all these, you know, you could find Atari cartridges in junk shops for like $1 a piece. Although I don't know if I would really find those. So I like the idea of it and it is tempting, but I'm not sure I'll get it because I don't know how much I would use it, you know, Because Atari was always like, you play it for a little bit and you're done. You know, it's not exactly immersive where you're going to spend hours playing Atari games. So like, yeah, I'll play some Asteroids or Missile Command or whatever, but it's just in little bursts and, you know, whatever. So I don't know if I'll get it. Maybe if it goes on sale or something. Or if I can find like a cool junk store in the city or Brooklyn where I know I could get like a pile of old cartridges for super cheap, then it would kind of be worth it. But I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, come back next episode and see if I've made enough progress in Spider-Man to maybe finish it. Probably not, but I'll probably be like right up to the end. That is my prediction. Come back and see if I'm right. Bye!